I saw a report that came out on ESPN yesterday, and it was talking about, the dysfunction that went on between Russell and Pete Carroll and everything in that organization. And what's funny is that as these stories come out, it reminds me of how I felt at the time when I saw Russell felt this way about a game. And it's like, I felt that exact same way. Watching the game at the bar or watching the game on my phone when I'm on back from a family trip. And I'm like, why are they not throwing the ball? What are they doing? And it's all about perspectives. He's looking at it like, hey, it gives us the best chance to win it. We just keep throwing the ball, get our lead, win the game. And he also wants the MVP. I've played in leagues. I want to win the MVP. Of course, it's healthy competition because if I'm an MVP, I'm helping my team win. It's a win-win. It's not, I want the MVP, screw the team. It's, I want to be the best player I can be, right? Seattle probably looks at that like, he just wants the MVP. But meanwhile, he's always been about winning all the time. So it's not that he's frustrated that, I want my legacy to be this, because of course we all want that, and he wants it more than most. But it's hurting the team. And it's like when I see these reports come out, it makes me laugh. It's like, wow, it's the same thing me or you said, or me and you were sitting there watching them like run the ball 4 straight times, and it's like, what are you doing? Why is this happening? Just put the ball in your best player's hands. That's what I thought when I saw that report.
You should lean into that option when you have it, because not every sport has it. You can't just put the ball in your best player's hands or say it's your turn. You can't do that. No. But to your point, I think the Pete Carroll, that whole Seattle experiment, plays directly into something I heard over the past month get pointed at, because this dynamic is starting to change just a hair in the NFL. But I don't think it's changing fast enough, because people blow it up when it goes wrong, even though it goes right more than it goes wrong. And that's things like going for it on 4th down. You got to remember, football coaches, the head coaches, they devise a strategy and a scheme 90% of the time with the least variables to lose a game, not the most variables creating potential to win a game. You're taking away factors that cost us, not factors that make us, which is ironic because it's an American-based sport and we're so capitalist, but yet nobody is pushing the envelope or betting on themselves. Nobody's doing it. And that's a side note why on and off the field, I love Lamar Jackson. He's changing that rhetoric in his contract negotiation now. You see the McVays and the Harbaughs of the world going for it on 4th down. All of these things tie together because the people that are already there are purposely pointing out mistakes that are happening that they would never attempt, and making sure that bell gets rung as loud as they can, because they're worried we're all going to notice their dinosaurs once McVay starts taking all their championships.
I was just going to say that. I was going to say, because you've been saying for years, hey, back when Seattle had everything together with Wilson on a cheap contract, and they didn't have a good line after the 2012 season, but they had a ridiculous defense. And you were like, hey, they're just playing not to lose, so to speak. There's only one way they can lose. They're trying to minimize possessions. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's like Steph Curry passing the ball into the post, into Kevin Looney. It's like, what are you doing? Like,
and then trying to get open for a kick out like he's going to command a double.
What are you
just tall?
What are you doing? Just maximize your possessions. Russell Wilson's a touchdown throwing machine. Steph Curry is a 3-point machine. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's
just hit the
McVay would have done that. McVay and Steve Kerr would have done that. Pete Carroll's a dinosaur.
Now you just added the next level of nuance of where I was going and actually showed how it gets there. Now think of it in Pete Carroll's shoes. You go to the Jets. You're considered this player's coach for your career, right? You have success in college, which means you can relate to young people and get them to follow you as far as how you talk and how you hang out around them. They trust,
Right.
Obviously, people trust him, especially initially and when they're younger. So he goes to the Jets, pops in and out of the NFL and fails, right? Now, what did I just say about how the older coaches that are already there are pointing out these things? So now he comes back with Seattle. Perfect storm, good quarterback, great defense. You started adding in aspects of the politics, but add in his maturity and growth process. So you went to the NFL and fell flat on your face. But then you open up the playbooks in college and you're doing all kinds of stuff, although you do have a sick backfield. But Reggie Bush wasn't a handed off 30-time guy. So where is this all coming from? You go back to the NFL and all of a sudden you play it conservative. It's my first year I got this quarterback. I know my defense is good. I'm not sure about this quarterback. Let's build it up. You get to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl.
Pause. He was 7-9 and 7-9 before Russell Wilson was drafted.
Right.
Just remember that with Seattle.
Yeah, so that's even better. So that actually should have said, wow, the defense did get better, but there really should be something here. But again, after you go 7-9, 7-9, it's like, I don't know what we have. I know the defense is good. If I don't win a lot of games this year, I'm probably on the hot seat. But the defense is dope. And then Russ crushed it in preseason. And it's like, we might have something here and I can protect them. Here's where it went wrong. He wins the Super Bowl. Everything goes right? Except on paper, at face value, I guarantee you, when he got back to his coaches fraternity, the older coaches told him, see, I told you we were right, and you just have to lean into your defense and run it. And then he was like, I know, you're right. But really, it wasn't the case. The team was already just good and balanced. He actually probably could have got it done easier, but they had never been there before. And to your point, 7-9, 7-9. The defense, I know, got better. Russ got better as the year goes on. He still has more to grow. Here's what happened. Pete patted himself on the back, told Russ, good job, then made himself think he got better, but didn't allow or acknowledge or allow, however you want to say it, or something between those two words, Russ to get better. So therefore, as far as the media rhetoric, Russ isn't any better than his rookie year. The defense carried him. Get him a good defense and he'll win it all. That's the rhetoric. So much so that Denver, before Russ ever got there, they're a Super Bowl contender if you just get a quarterback. They're a Super Bowl contender if you just get a quarterback. Quarterback walks in. Well, who do they really have? Are you kidding me?
He's the third best quarterback in the division now.
No, but it's even, how did the media make everybody worse on the Broncos the second Russ shows up? Wow. Like I said, all last year and the year before, that's a Super Bowl roster if you get a quarterback. That's a Super Bowl roster if you get a quarterback. That's a Super Bowl roster if you get a quarterback. As soon as Russ shows up, it's like, yeah, but how good is that receiver they drafted? Is that defense really that? It's like none of these things were issues until Russ showed up. Now, if Russ kills it and the defense is solid, they're going to credit the defense again. Because remember, that was a Super Bowl team before he got there. Nobody's saying it right now. They were saying it for a year and a half to 2 years. But watch, as soon as Denver's 5-2, 8-3, or 7-1, if they strike lightning in a bottle, be like, well, everybody knew they were a Super Bowl. Like, please.
Well, that's why we keep in receipts. And that's why I'm getting out ahead of this now on the first day of the NFL season. And of course, in 4 days, we got Russ returning to Seattle, which is going to be hilarious.